Yo, 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 we back. Head butts and slow blinks, good people. It's your boy Sterling Trap King Davis with my sister from another mister.
I'm Shannon Jackson, and this is finally after almost a month.
Right. Same team pod. Let's go. We back.
We're back.
We've been gone for like forever, thanks to me. I've been out. If you follow me and my crazy shenanigans on social media, you'll know that I've been out in Greece on a cat rescue mission. Shout out to Let's Be Smart and everybody that made that trip possible. The Cork brothers for coming out and filming. Just an amazing trip. Like, it was my first time ever going to Greece, so I got good and sunburned. Like, y'all probably can't see how bad on my arms now because I'm healing, but oh yeah.
Oh, you got some pink. You got a little bit of pink to you.
Yeah, I definitely got darker. I covered my head, but I didn't cover my arms, and I paid for it. My God.
Do you mean that you got black?
Black. Gay.
Say it loud, say it proud. Oh my God, you guys, we're gonna make shirts that say, we don't know exactly what the design will be yet, but it's gonna be gay, black, same team.
It's gonna be hilarious. Yeah. We definitely got some Same Team podcast merch coming. It's a must. Gotta do it.
Yeah.
Gotta do it.
Do it.
Yeah, Greece. I gotta tell y'all, I just want to say they do things very differently. You know, I feel like we pretty privileged over here in America because we trapped well over 100 cats in a couple days, and these, like, they don't even have real traps. Like, most of the traps that they had that was like regular traps was ones that I bought out there. A lot of the traps was handmade. They had to transfer them into carriers, which was something different for me. Like, the whole experience was just off the chain. It was definitely a learning experience. I was like, wow. Oh, shout out to the Trap King and Trap Queen of Greece. At a gala, we was able to crown two individuals who were just, like I said, they amazing out there with how they trap. I could not believe it. Like,
so when the cats are in the trap and then they have to go into the carrier, like the makeshift trap, like, the cats, are they angry? Like, do they get hurt a lot? Do they get scratched a lot?
Well, see, that's the thing that's really amazing, because normally the way we do it, we just trap the cat in one trap, and that cat stays in that trap throughout the process. They sedate in that trap, and when they wake up, they got them back in the trap. So that's just a trap. But because people have tiny cars and the traps are so big, a lot of people transfer these cats out of the trap into carriers, like the regular carriers, and then they sedate them in there. So they move the cats around a lot. So it's risky. Like, the guy, one of the guys, Alexis, that I was trapping with, he got bit when we was out there trying to transfer the carrier. So it's a lot. I'm amazed that they able to do as much as they do, and then even doing the transfers, that they don't lose more cats. Like, the transfer process is great. I couldn't believe it.
When you told me that about how it went from the trap to the carrier, I was just, anyone who's been around a cat that's been trapped knows, like, unless they're a very, very friendly, docile cat that just happened to be in there, they get, angry, understandably so, they're in there. So I can't even imagine picking up that, getting it. Do they just probably push, put it down?
Yeah, they gotta, they basically, the trap, you open up the door, you gotta open it they open it sideways, and then open the carrier door, and they moving them in there, and it's like,
that's pretty incredible that you guys, and that they are that resourceful, and creative to make traps like that, you know. And here in the United States, like you were saying, how you're like, oh, I've got this remote control trap,
right.
you know, it's just,
He was the Alexis was out there. He got the drop trap, and he got the string, and he made it. He handmade that trap.
It's cool.
And I'm sitting there thinking, like, he like, yeah, you know, you like this, and I'm like, yeah, and I'm thinking, crap, I got a remote control one back at the house, but I don't even want to sound like that. I don't want to sound like that dude. But yeah, I mean, it's an amazing thing. I had a lot of stuff, and really, this is kind of like to segue into what we're talking about today too, because, you know, we wanted to get into what SAMETEAM, how it helps us, what it means to us, how it's helped us in our regular lives. And this is when I was in Greece, there were situations where I swear to you, the SAMETEAM podcast has made me hold myself to a different standard. Like I was determined to be better, because some of the stuff that they were doing is not like how we do out here. Like one of the things is the net, like they were catching cats in nets. And that's something that, you know, in America, I'm like, whoa, we don't, you know, if people saw me with a net, they gonna freak out. So I'm like, it in one instance, it's almost like you getting sad, you want to get upset, but I'm thinking, same team, you know, they do things differently. And it's not like they're trying to be cruel, it's just lack of resources, you know what I mean? So, and that's one of that's like the main reason I wanted to go out there to help them out. I definitely want to go back, but the whole time, some of the way we was doing things, because even transferring like that, they're transferring these cats about at least 2 to 3 times. And that's stressful, you know, that's stressful. So, but at the same time, I'm like, Sterling, same team. Like, you don't want to get mad at people. You don't want to criticize them, because they doing the best with what they got, and they doing amazing. So the whole time, like everything out there that happened, I'm just like, same team. And it's crazy. Like it's so many ways in life where not even just animal rescue, not even just animal welfare, but just period, where I'm constantly telling myself, same team. Like we can't be on the podcast and preach it and not live it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Same thing. I'm like, it's all the time. I keep thinking about it. I'm like, okay, you know, depending on what I'm doing, depending on, you know, like obviously this week I had an experience. Anyone who follows me knows that I tried to adopt a greyhound, and I was basically put on a blacklist because of my advocacy work online. And so it's just like a lot was wrong with that. And so then I posted it online, and I'm not sorry I did it. I felt like, okay, like, let's just let the words speak from themselves. But people started coming for me online, you know, saying like, Sterling, you don't even realize, people are saying die, and like people are saying, Smush wants a hug.
Smush is like, I need the love real quick.
He's like, Smush the beef. Here you go. She does that all the time. For those of you who are listening, Smush will just come up to me. Oh no, she's slapping me. She wants a hug. I'm sure it feels good. Like I told her yesterday, I'm like, I wish somebody would stretch my body like that. You know, She puts her arms up, and then you can feel her body. Like it feels so good. She just gives herself, it's like a yoga stretch. But anyway, but she'll come up to me and just use me. She's like, I want a hug. And then she bites me and leaves.
Right.
I'm like,
give me a hug and then get out of here.
Typical cat. It's like, but anyway, yeah. So back to the greyhound thing. So anyway, that
was crazy when I didn't even know what all was said and how it went down, but I saw the comment on your post, and I was like, what?
I know. And people were saying really ignorant, ridiculous things. And I mean, I'm just standing up for animals. That's, you know, I do not believe in greyhound racing. I think it's cruel. And, you know, I voted against it back in 2018. And that's when the people that are in the group locally, they basically, you know, cancel culture. They blocked me and removed me on Facebook after I'd volunteered with them for many years, taking photos and all this stuff. And it's like, anyway, but personally, like anybody that has followed me also knows that I talk about lots of different things, but I've been working on my boundaries and like, I've been working on a lot of stuff, and I'm just kind of like, okay. And then Same Team podcast is like an extra therapy session, which is, I'm so proud of us while we haven't even had this, that we've like kept it. Cause man, it's hard, but yeah, when people are coming at you and like treating you in a way that's not right, it's really difficult sometimes to not self-righteously like lash out, but it's so
Right.
important to hold your your head high. And I don't know why. I think it's just probably because I deal with my shit, and I'm not gonna like calling somebody a name. What does that do? Like
Yeah.
nothing. But like I'm like Same Team, and those people are not on my team. So like my team
Right.
are people that believe in the 5 freedoms for animals, which most people working within animal welfare should know. But like just even like I don't even know half the people online in general, unless like you're like my personal friend. So it's like it's not, when trolls come online, it's such a pointless thing. But people are really nasty, but they put me on the group put me on a blacklist, so I can't adopt a greyhound now, which
That's crazy.
but I'm like, oh well, Same Team, like I'm going to keep fighting for
Yeah.
animals, so I just got to kind of move on. And like I don't give a fuck if I can't. I mean, I love greyhounds, but it's like if I can't, if a group is not going to adopt it to me because they want to support an industry that is cruel, well, I don't want to give you my money anyway. So
Right. And that's crazy. Like I can't imagine. Like, how did you feel? Because that when I everything came together for me. Because like I said, you was going through it, and I'm on the outside looking in, and I'm just trying
yeah,
to. I was like, so I'm like, so wait a minute. They're mad because you're against greyhound racing, so they
yeah.
cancel
Well,
culture you. That was like what?
right. But that's the thing. It's like, but it's really controversial. And I personally, I believe that every creature is a living being. And so I believe that they deserve to be free, myself included, and humans included. Like we all
Right.
deserve to have freedom to just be and live.
Right.
And I mean, if the world followed the Same Team, maybe we, the
Oh,
same team that we're on the big ball of earth, and we don't want to destroy it and destroy each
right.
other. So anyway, like I just, even with dealing with people that are not on of the same mindset of me, I feel like what Same Team means to me is to be like respectful, whether or not people believe it or like deserve it or not. And also just, I'm really trying to be a lot less reactive on the inside, I think. And I think like we've talked about that before, and like I've been working on that in my personal life too. And so I mean, anything that we go through personally affects what we do as part of a group or just as a representative of anything. Like, and so, yeah, like I just, every single time I think about, or if I have an opportunity to respond to somebody online or even in person, I mean, I'm not going to stoop to somebody's level that's calling me a bitch or calling me insecure and needy or like seeking attention, calling my dog a prop, like all this shit. And it's like, you don't even know me. So, but it's just, that's the thing. It's like all that stuff. Like I would log in, and I left the comments up because I'm like, they just speak for themselves. I'm like, I just don't care. It's like, doesn't go into me. It just doesn't go into me. And I'm glad, because I think I just have a thick skin when it comes to that stuff, because I care about what the people that I respect think of me and that I love. But at the end of the day, I care what I think of me, and I care that I'm upholding my own standard of like the Same Team, like mindset. And like
Right.
Same
Right.
Team does not mean being like, for lack of a better word, like I almost said a pussy, but I love a pussy. So sorry,
Me
but
too.
I know you do, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But it's just, or like, it doesn't make you weak. It's like Same Team does not mean backing down either.
Right.
Like, and
Right. Right.
I know that I'm vocal, and I know that I have a way with words. They come from inside of me, and that's a gift of mine. And I feel even more inspired to be like fighting for animals and fighting for gay people and the Black
Right.
people and
Right.
like, like minorities in general, vulnerable people and animals in general. And so I've just been trying to hold that mindset up in all of my interactions.
I was like, I'm proud of you, like the way
Thank
you
you.
handled it,
Thank
because
you.
for
Yeah.
me, I know for me, I tend to be too nice and then just get upset because I've been too nice for so long. Like it's just nice, 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 nice.
I'm
Oh, I
not
can't take it.
nice.
Like I'm trying to balance that out. And the way you
Yeah.
handled it, like 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 you said, you know how
Yeah.
to talk and respond in
Right.
you can respectfully debate. And I think that's like,
Yeah.
you know, that's
Yeah.
a skill. That's a skill because usually with me, I'd be like, somebody would be disrespectful. And I'm like, all right,
Right.
let's just hug it out. It's okay. I'll get
Right.
over it. It'll be
Right.
all right. It'll be
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know.
That's that is so interesting. But I do think that's we were talking about that before. It's like you're a lot nicer than I am. And I'm like I feel but I feel like you're working on being less nice or like
Right. I
you
have to
know.
be more. I gotta get I gotta get my fuck this shit on my wrist.
Yeah,
I gotta
right. You
do it. I
do.
gotta do
But
it.
you should get fuck that shit. And I have fuck this shit. You should
Right.
fuck that shit. Then the other one will be same team. I'm like, you know.
Right. I mean, because
Oh my
that's a
God.
big thing, like what you said though. But I wanted to ask you this though. When the Greyhound, when they race the Greyhounds, they
Hmm.
like break them dogs down, right? Like, don't
Yeah,
they make them
so
like super submissive or whatnot?
yeah, like they're born on a greyhound farm, and then I mean the dogs when they're small, like they if you look online, you can go see, but they have this thing that goes around and around, almost like do you know those at a carnival they have those swings that you can go on
Oh,
and then you go up into the sky and you just like go around
yeah,
your legs stick out like
yeah.
I when I was a child I loved all that stuff. Now I'm like I don't want to die and I don't and
I'll
I'm like
probably throw up.
oh my, well, I also think about like, I'm like, God, I'm like, I feel like there's people just like smoking weed all day, like operating that, like, and are probably like high as fuck. And I'm like, I feel like
Right.
I could fly right off. But anyway, but when the greyhounds are small, like it's almost like this thing that goes around and around, but they're taught and they're on a chain and they are taught to go around and chase the lure, which is what's on the track that, you know, how they
Oh,
chase like a rabbit. It's like a fake rabbit
yeah.
or whatever. But they're just like I think they're probably treated better as when they're being trained. Like they're trained to race, they're trained, like they're basically trained to do that, you know. But then when they actually go on the track, like people buy them from the greyhound farm, like people that are into gambling, because that's what it's about. Like that's what it's
Yeah.
about. It's like bottom line, it's like a game, and then people go and cheer on it's like horse racing, only it's dogs, you know. But
Yeah.
I mean, and sometimes they will give them cocaine and
Oh,
I feel like the conditions are probably a lot better at least in the United States than they used to be, but there's only a few tracks left in the United States now. It just got shut down in Iowa, and then Florida was 2018, and then I don't remember all of them, but there's only a few tracks left. But so now a lot of people are like groups are importing them from Ireland and Australia, and but they're still legal there, so they'll pay a whole bunch of money because there's a demand for greyhounds, you know, because they're wonderful, but people they want they feel like they're preserving the breed, but it's like, well, why do the dogs have to be broken? Like why? Like I just don't believe in greyhound racing. I think it's cruel. Like when they're out on the tracks racing and travel, like, you know, they go into the cage for like 23 hours a day, like just in a cage, and then they let them out to go to the bathroom or they let them out to race and then they have to go back in. It's like, and then they like I don't know about like now, but like in the past when there was a lot more tracks and there wasn't as such a demand for the dogs, like they just take them out back and shoot them. Like there you can go look up pictures, there's like greyhounds all in a ditch, like all dead, because they're like property, and if they don't race well, they get discarded, and that's why the rescues take them. But the thing is, they don't say rescued, they say retired, not rescued. And I say rescued, not retired. But a
right.
lot of the time, I think too, a lot of these groups, though, they are almost blackmailed by the racing industry to not speak against greyhound racing because they don't want it to be shut down. So I think even some of the, like, I know that there are some people personally involved with greyhound groups that are involved with that still, and aren't like me, that's like an activist, and I'm like, well, like I'd rather not have a greyhound than than to support that. But like not everybody feels that way, or maybe they're afraid they're just never going to get any dogs again if they speak out against the track. So I didn't even know that until someone that I respect, who their partner used to have a greyhound rescue, told me, because like she back in the day she had to work with the track. So like and that's the thing, it's like I can understand how somebody might be conflicted because they do love the dog so much or whatever, but it's like you're truly not loving the dog by supporting an industry that is cruel to dogs.
And that's just crazy to me, that because you're not down with that, then
Yeah.
we can't let you adopt. So basically, you be
Oh
down with
yeah.
this, or it's like, I feel like it should just be about the dog. Like, it should be about the
Yeah.
dog going
No,
to
I'm not
a
allowed.
good home, living a good life. But because of your opinion on something that's probably hard as hell on them,
Right.
they're not gonna.
Right.
That's
They're threatened by me because I have a following online, but it's like, well, I have a following online for a reason. Like I'm not paying, I'm not, it's like I'm just speaking my truth and there's power in that. And so,
right,
and people trust me because I'm a real person. I'm the same
right,
online as if you saw me walking down the street. I mean, if I don't know you, I might be like, hey, but like, I don't want to stop and talk for a long time, but I'm the same person, like just like you, Sterling. But like it's
right.
just, it sucks though that people like just can be that just hateful online, and also that I would be denied a dog just because of my like what they call political views, because
Like,
I voted against greyhound racing, so now I'm blacklisted.
that's crazy. So forget the fact that the dog will have a great life.
Right, yeah.
Forget that the life you could provide for
Yeah,
the dog is because of your, I guess, political stance on
I
something.
guess. But
That's
it's funny
wow.
because I mean, my Greyhound Candy, for those of you who don't follow me, I had a Greyhound named Candy since she was 3 until she was 9. And then she passed last year of osteosarcoma, but she was special needs Greyhound. She had a autoimmune disease called SLO. And I mean, I spent lots of money on my dog, and like she was the best dog ever. I loved her so much. And I just love greyhounds, but I've always been against racing. But I think it's funny that a lot of these people that don't know me, they come on and they're like, you'll never get a greyhound. They're telling me I just wanted it to parade it around. I'm like, I've already had a greyhound. Like, and I've also
Yeah, right.
right. And I've also continued advocating against greyhound racing even after Candy died. Like I, even if I don't have one to like use as a prop, as they said. It's so stupid, but like
I was
anyway.
so
I
I
know it's
read that
stupid.
comment. I
It's
read one of the
stupid.
comments and I was just like, okay, what the hell is going
I
on? Like, this
know.
don't make sense. That is this,
No. But the
but
whole
I'm
time it was like, what made me feel good though is that now I'm just letting it go, because it was like I was posting all the screenshots and I'm like, all right, I'm done now. I'm like, I'm bored with this. It's like my words speak for themselves, and you guys are making yourselves look like your words speak for themselves, like telling someone to rot in hell, and like
yeah.
really,
And
like
that's the thing too, that I really hate that thing too, is when, even if you have a difference of opinion or something, if you don't have to start insulting people
right,
like that, like a personal insult because of somebody's stance. That's like,
right.
and that's where it was going. I was like, wow. Like I said, I
Oh
read that.
yeah.
I read like one comment and I was just done. I was
I
just done.
know, I know,
I
I
could not
know.
believe it. I was all the stuff, because it sounded like just a personal attack. Like,
Right,
it sounded
yeah.
like it sounded like somebody been wanting to say some stuff like that for a while. And
Oh, I
that's where
think
it
they
was like,
did. I think they did. But then now it makes me want to speak out about it even more, because
right,
why wouldn't I? And I'm like, wow, I'm
right.
like, okay, I guess, see, I am making a difference. It's like, I'm not even allowed to adopt a greyhound because I care about them. It's like, okay.
That's crazy.
So, but anyway, it's like the
But I
whole time.
told you though, I'm proud of you, the way you, because you
Thank
could
you.
have went
Yeah,
back and
I know.
forth with all of that stuff. You could
I
have kept
did a couple
going,
times, but it was kind of
but
like, well, I actually thought one of the comments was someone that I knew without telling me like who they were, but because the
mm,
way she spoke was like almost like she was speaking for the organization, but I don't
Yeah, I
even
read
know. But
that.
then I think that she may have been speaking in the voice of a dog later. So I was like, I don't even know. I'm like, I think she, you know how like I'll speak like I'm Smush
Right,
sometimes, but
right, right,
I know when to break that though. Like people know. It's like
right, right, right,
but
right.
like it was very weird though, because it was just kind of like, what? I don't even know what's happening right now. I'm like, that's fine. So, but anyway, I'm not like I don't know. Like I feel like same team is my life now. And it doesn't matter what
Right.
if I'm dealing with, because I mean, I have more interests than my work with animals and my activism online. I also, I do use social media for advocacy work. It's like, because
Right,
I'm a
right.
writer and it just comes from the collective. And I'm like, I don't, words are powerful, but just even when I'm walking around doing something, I'm like, same team is really like a human thing. It's like, and
Yeah.
I feel like because we are all human beings together, like we might be different, like, but really we all, like, as human beings, we have a short time to live on the planet. And it's like, I just want to try to like do something good while I'm here, enjoy the beautiful earth, and, and then stand up for what I believe in, and also be a voice for those that don't have one, because my voice
Yeah.
is loud, and that's something that came from wherever. And I've been like this since I came out of my mom's vagina. Like
That's
I can't help it. Like, but it's good. It's good. But like, and the thing is, not everybody is as loud as me. But it's funny because I'm not one to be out in the crowd with a sign. I'd rather use my language and then put it
right,
out and then go about my day. Like I wasn't sitting on the computer, like argue with people. I was organizing Smush's room, getting ready for her
right,
party on the 12th of June.
right, right,
By the
right.
way, you're all invited. Come to Smush's fifth birthday party. We're going to have a lot of giveaways.
Party time.
Party
Party
time.
time.
I'm making her a large, it's a catnip yellow banana from Yao.
Oh
They're
yeah.
one of my sponsors, and so we're doing giveaways. But they also sent me all the bananas and some other items to make a throne for Smush. But I'm not gonna bring it in there until the very end, and she's gonna go nuts.
Yeah,
But
she gonna probably lose it.
yes, and then I'm
But
gonna
shout
take.
out to Yao though.
Yeah, it's cool. But I'm gonna take all the extra, because we don't need like 100 bananas. I'm gonna take it to our local humane society for their cat rooms with Big Smush, and like take some pictures of them going
Oh,
crazy.
that's
So
dope.
yeah, I'm just gonna
That's
donate them.
dope. That's
So
dope.
I always say Smush is like Oprah. She's like, you get a banana and you get a
You
banana.
get a banana, yeah.
Yeah.
Oprah be giving it
So
out, boy.
yeah, I don't have Oprah's money, but that's okay.
Hey,
Money,
you got
that's
you got
okay.
you
I
got
got
you got
I
Yao
got
catnip bananas.
I got love in my heart. I got my integrity. I got my same team. I got all of you guys like out there listening, like fighting the good fight. So, but anyway, that was the thing too. I thought it was super cool that in a lot of the comments, like a lot of people came, to kind of defend me, which that always feels good.
Yeah, yeah.
But a lot of people use the hashtag same team. And I was
That's
like,
dope.
oh, that's so awesome, because
That's dope.
we keep saying that, like, even from the beginning of us starting to do the podcast before, like, same team is so much more than just our work with animal welfare. Because like you and
Right.
I do so many other things too, but it's like same
Right.
team is like a way of life,
Yeah, yeah.
It
That's I
is.
mean, it really is because I use it. That's why I use it in so many different aspects when I'm dealing
Yeah.
with people. Like I'm thinking, same team, hold
Mm,
that standard. Even that was
yeah.
another. I had another issue, another situation in Greece where, and I forgot about this one. A guy I trapped a cat, and I told you how we got handmade traps and stuff, how difficult it is.
Yeah.
And this guy, he came over to the trap. He was just in the neighborhood we was in, and I thought he was raising the blanket, the cover, to look and see if that was his cat. But he raised the blanket and then opened the door real quick and let it out. And I was
Oh
like,
no.
I'm thinking, don't be Larry. Don't be
Oh my
Larry.
God. Don't be
Don't
Larry.
be Larry.
Yeah.
But again, in my head, I was same team. And I was like,
Yeah.
hey man, that's you made it that much more difficult to catch that cat. But more than that, you're not helping the cat with that.
Right.
I really wanted to say more, but I'm like, don't be Larry, same team.
I
Don't be Larry,
know.
same team.
It's so hard sometimes. It's so hard. I mean, no matter what you're doing, because I feel like, I mean, there's times that, you know, on the inside, you can feel like, oh, I might lose my temper, and or like give somebody a dirty look. Like I'm more apt to give
Right.
somebody a dirty look because like I have no control over my eyes and you can tell what's going on in there. So I'm like, I'm not even gonna, you know, this is why I'm a shut-in and I live with, I stay in my house with my cats and just like go outside and garden and hang out with the squirrels. Like I'm just, you know what I mean? I'm just kind of, I get really like, you don't have to be nasty. And so like
Right.
sometimes, you know, like I remember one time I was going into, it must have been when I was still like, I was traveling more, doing photography stuff for animals. And I don't know, or maybe I was fostering, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. But I remember I
Right.
walked into the place and just like some of the people there were just, the way they were talking was just so nasty. And I'm like, this is just, why, you know,
What
why?
is
And it,
accomplished by it?
yeah, I
Like,
know.
I've
So
never seen somebody, I've never seen somebody make a positive change for anything by being nasty like that. You know, it's
right,
one thing to
yeah,
stand up and speak out, but to be nasty like that, it's like,
yeah,
who's gonna listen to that? I'm not. Nobody's gonna listen to you being nasty instantly.
right,
Even if they right, the approach is nasty and bad and negative. So it's like, nah, I don't even want to hear that. So
right. Well, and it's also too, and it's, I don't know if I was talking with you about this the other day. It could have been somebody else. Cause like I said, it's, I mean, this is all the time. And I feel that the reason why I first resonated with the hashtag same team is because I feel like I've been holding myself to same team for a long time. You know, I think that's probably, I mean, I, whatever that, it just has a word now, you know, it's just
right,
has a word now. But I just think about how people that have power a lot of times that make decisions that affect animals' well-being, and it's just, they're not being same team at all, because they're just like, that's when you're working for someone that depends on you, like an animal, or like maybe you're working with like say underprivileged children, or you know, like anyone that's vulnerable. If you're in a position like that, I'm like, you really need to check yourself, because when you're there and you're like, well, I don't like that bitch, I'm not going to adopt this
right,
cat to her because I don't like her, or like, you know, it's just not, it goes against everything that anyone working with people that depend on you or animals that depend on you should be about. It's like a person like that either needs to go to therapy or like anger management, because people do get compassion fatigue, and it does affect the way that you act and your behavior. But like, you have to realize that your behavior and decisions do affect those that are depending on you. And it's like, that's why, I mean, I feel right now, other than what I'm doing online, which is really important in the way that I speak, but I feel like I'm being a lot more strategic about my social media campaigns, and I'm running with SMUSH, but,
yeah,
and, you know, with different organizations talking about different issues. But I just think that people, it's like, it's not about us, it's about the animals. And it's like,
right,
so,
right,
or even like, and I have to say that even if say you're working with children, or you're working with, you know, like minorities that maybe like, for me as a white woman, I have privilege that like a black woman doesn't have, you know, and
right.
I know that. And so I'm going to think about that when I'm using my language and when I'm interacting with people, and not just in public, in private too.
Right,
It's not
right.
about going online and being like, look at me, look what a do-gooder I am, which people do, you know.
People
It's
do that
about
all the
what you
time,
do
man.
and nobody's looking. It's that same team, like
Right,
same team all the time. And it's like, same team is not just for show. Like same
right,
team is a
right.
way of life, but
It's a way of life.
it is, but it's helping me though, like the fact that we're talking about all these issues, because that's why it's like a transferable hashtag, you know. It's like, it even goes for Will Smith, you know, like
Right,
he needs to remember that he's a human. It's like, if you want to
right.
go down to all of us having equal rights, which for us, I mean, think about it. It's like
Right.
same team is deep, man.
Same team is deep. It's all over. I had a few when I made a post about the shooting in Texas. You
Oh, do
know,
people give you
people were,
hate?
oh man, it's I always I anytime and it's rare. Usually everything I post is probably gonna be cats or cat related or rescue related in some form or fashion. Every once in a while something to happen and I'll comment on that. And that post, I made a post just strictly about the children, the
I
people
saw
that
it.
that that
Yeah.
died, and it was tough. But I still got a couple DMs like, stick to cats, leave it alone,
Oh
or
yeah.
just
Oh yeah.
somebody was like, this post could have been better if you worded it like this or like that, and I'm like, listen, come on. But I didn't,
Yeah.
like you said, same team,
Same team. Yeah.
same team. No point in
Yeah.
even going back and forth with that. But
Right.
I got a
Right.
few
Yeah.
messages. I got a few
Yeah.
dirty, not even really super dirty, because it's hard for anybody to disagree with that being bad. But it was more so just like, that's not your lane,
Right.
or
Yeah.
are
Oh
you about
yeah.
to start being political on us now?
Oh
And I'm like,
yeah.
that's not political. Like,
Oh my
people
God.
lost their lives.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
that's
Well,
not a political stance. That's just flat
everything's
out.
everything's political right now. If like for real, it's like, well, that's so funny because not funny, but back in 2020, it was, I was talking with this actually on the Percast recently with Stephen and Sarah about when Smush got political. Because before 2020, before like pandemic came and shook us all up, but then George Floyd was killed. And then that was for me, that was when Smush got like something changed for me and the way that I use Smush's Instagram. Because I mean, but it's interesting because I was always saying the same themes, but it was almost like this is the time. And like I got a lot of comments like that. Like when I first posted about Black Lives Matter, like people get so angry at that hashtag. And it's just, so I think I lost thousands of followers around that time. But that was so stupid because I'm like, I felt, I mean, number one, when people are saying, oh, you should just stick to cats, this is a cat account. I'm like, yeah, it's my cat's account, but there's a human being. Do you think Smush knows that there's something called Instagram? I mean, maybe she
Right.
does. Like, I think Smush is like, I don't know, but like, you know what I mean? It's just when people say to you about like the Texas shooting when you posted about
Yeah.
it, people don't really like, it's funny because I haven't gotten a lot of that. People know what to expect. Like Smush is not really part of the cat community. I mean, she's a cat, but like I said that the other day, Smush went rogue like a couple years ago. So, you know, I
Smush
mean,
gets political.
yeah, whatever. Yeah, I don't care. It's like I have a voice, I'm going to use it. I have a platform, I'm going to
Right.
use it. And and words are power, and I'm not going to argue with people on the internet when that's just such a waste of time. I mean, I mean even the cat and dog meat trade stuff. People have come in there and I mean, I'll have a little bit of conversation there, but then but I'm able to do that. I'm able to do
Right.
that
Right.
respectfully. And I think that I believe in freedom of speech. I think people should be able to
Yeah.
have open conversation, but people forget that that people don't listen. And then
Right.
when people resort to name calling and stuff, it's just you've just like the world, like I really do feel like the internet and the fact that social media is what it is now. I mean, it's really hard to hold your head high and be same team online. But I mean,
It's
like I said, I have a whole life outside of like this. This is like,
right.
I mean, I just choose to share it, and like that's something that I sacrifice for my own privacy, but that's okay. Like why not? I mean, it happened, and so here we are. Here
Right.
I met you, like I met so many other people
I
that are
met
also
a ton
the
of
same,
dope people. So
all of, yes, and people like not even with animal welfare that I feel are same team. It's like same team
yeah,
is it's like a movement.
it is. It is a
Or
movement. It is a
yeah,
movement.
join
And
our
speaking
movement.
of movement, let me check this out.
Oh, that's cool. Oh my God, that's awesome.
Trap King Grease shirt. For those of you that's just
That's
listening,
cool. I
I
didn't see
have a
that.
Trap King Grease shirt. So it's like the logo, the Trap King logo has the Greek flag in it. And we was a bunch of people having them out there. I
Oh,
still
that's
got some left. I gotta
awesome.
hook you up with one. I still
Yeah,
got
send me
some left.
one.
Yeah, but that was out there. Same, they was them people were same team. You gotta be because of the resources, and that's another
Mm-hmm.
thing that I love seeing out there. When I was out there, it was like everybody had to pull together. Like we
That's
went to an
awesome.
island. We went to an island called, it was the island of Idra. And
Mm.
on the island, they don't have, there's no vehicles on the
Oh,
island. No,
really?
yeah, no cars, no nothing. Like
Oh,
not
how
even
do you?
no motorcycles. So if you want to
Oh,
move something around or transport, you got to call a donkey.
what?
And and let me tell you, this is the crazy thing.
Oh my
The whole
God.
time, people kept saying that, like, for Trap King stuff, because I was visiting
Yeah.
the school. I was going to visit a school out there. And on the way to the school, they kept saying, Trap King got a lot of stuff because I had coloring books and cat
Mm,
masks that we were painting and stuff. And they
yeah.
kept saying, like, hey, Trap King is probably going to need a donkey to transport this stuff. So I was like, the whole time in my
Yeah.
mind, I'm hearing donkey, but I'm thinking, okay, somebody going to pull around in a golf cart. No,
Right.
I mean, that two donkeys, real donkeys, just walked up like, here we go, let's go. And I was
Did
like,
you wait?
wow.
Did you ride it?
No, I didn't ride it.
Oh.
They like loaded my stuff
Oh, that's
onto the
so
donkeys, and the
crazy.
donkeys carried, because it's like stairs, like
Oh
so
my
many stairs
God.
up there. I know I had to lose some weight while I was out there, because I
Oh my
mean,
God.
you can walk, but that was whew, you definitely got to pull together. And it's
Yeah.
no vet. There was no vet on this island.
Oh my
So
God.
we brought a vet
Oh
to the island,
yeah.
and then some of the cats were like so ill that we took them back on boat. We took them back to Athens so they could
Oh
get further vet
yeah.
care.
Are those the ones you sent me the picture of? Are those from Greece?
Oh no, not those two babies,
Oh,
not those
okay.
two. Those two
Yeah.
babies, I was just rescuing. I was working with Sister Kitten to get adopted,
Oh,
but
okay.
the two that we brought back from Greece, they're in Minneapolis now. They went to a
Okay.
rescue in Minneapolis, but
Oh, cool.
it
Okay.
was, yeah, some like,
Yeah.
it was just crazy. It was definitely a different experience, but I loved
Yeah.
seeing everybody come together, because it's really like you gotta be same team.
See,
It takes a
yeah.
lot. It takes a village for real.
That reminds me so much of when I went to Puerto Rico when I did the photography for Spayathon, and also before that, the first time I went to Puerto Rico, I went with Maddie's shelter medicine program at the vet school at UF, and so I went to document. They were an adoption event they were doing on this part of the island that the shelter had like a 99% euthanasia rate, but it was very similar to where you have a bunch of people come together for a goal like that for animals. And I feel like that, to me, like when you've experienced that and like what you're describing in Greece reminds me of that, because it's like we all had different functions. Like, I was totally on my own because I mean, and I prefer it like that, and I go around and I was documenting all the stuff and I was doing their social media and I was using a translator for like for Spanish. I was so worried I was going to say something like terrible. I'm like, oh my God, it's like, but anyway, but I it's, and I remember going, there was a hill like on this, it's like in Puerto Rico. I mean, I don't, if anyone's been to Puerto Rico, it's beautiful there, but the island is so different. It's like whatever part you go to, like it's like probably like California. It's like some is mountainous, some is more tropical. And so I was in the car like all day. I was with two people the first time in like that were like kind of with me, but we were with other people doing other functions. But we all had our function and we were going about our business, doing what we had to do for the animals. So at the time it was like me and a writer, and so it was like the photographer and the writer, and then we had like a team, and so we went around and like did our thing. But then there were vet students there and they were all giving the vaccines, and so but everybody had their function, and it was so
That's
cool
dope.
because I felt like I want to do this all the time. And then
Yeah.
I did start doing it more. And then the pandemic happened. Like, for me is like what I do with my photography. I'm like, I want to do this more and more, I mean, I still do it, but not in that that big team setting. But like, that's the thing is
Yeah.
that I know you and I have that to draw on. And if you haven't been in a trip like that, where you've been with other professionals, you know, and volunteers that, you know, you're working together for a cause, like in that kind of situation where you can see that the animals are depending on you. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like that does something to you as far as knowing that we have to work together even when we're not together. Does that make sense? It's like work
Right.
together even when
Right.
we're not together, because
Right.
that's how
I
it
like how
should
you
be.
said that.
It just came out of me, like I said, it just came right out, like, but yeah, like I it's so important. And it's like, that's why I think, even when I was talking with the Greyhound people, I know that people listen to what I have to say. Like I said, I came out like this, and I do have a way with words, and also with the way I communicate and like show things. Like, that's what I do to help, you know. It's like I use my voice and I use my creative skills. And so, you know, I was doing that even before SMUSH. I just like, then it was like the spotlight came on, and I'm like, all right,
Right.
I guess I'm doing it as a cat now, you
This
know,
is
like
happening.
this is happening. But like, you know, but it's, nothing has changed, but it's just now I feel even more so because of my professional work with animals and my volunteer work with animals, like to know that I am part of a bigger collective of people out there, that it's about them. And again, it's like, it's a transferable thing. It's like,
Yeah.
if you are wanting to make a difference, and that is your calling, to make a difference for animals, for people, for anybody, like, you got to check yourself, because it's like, you could be part of the problem if you start being disrespectful, or like just letting like whatever your personal problems are get in the way. And that's why it's so important to self-care. You know, it's so important to take a break. Like, i
Yes.
i definitely I definitely have been taking a break from a lot of stuff, and that's been really good, because I'm working on me in the last year. Like, I'm working on myself, and that's the only reason why I could respond to those people respectfully, I think, too, because I know personally what I stand for. So I'm just gonna, and I want to keep doing that. Like, I want to keep doing the things that I know make a difference, and carry on. And just like I said online earlier, it's like, people's actions and behaviors speak for themselves. But I mean, honestly, anybody out there listening to this, like, please check yourself when you're thinking about how something could affect someone who's depending on you. Like,
And
that's
think about, I would, and
mm,
two, think about the, like I said, the approach. Like, what are you
yeah,
trying to accomplish? And what is your approach going to help with what you're trying to accomplish? You know what I
right,
mean? Like, if you
yeah,
like, and I think that's one of the things that hurt us in a lot of ways, is that we don't converse. We'll just see something that's
right.
different, or to be a different opinion, and then it's straight to argument, insults. But sitting down and having a conversation about it, you'll be
Yeah.
surprised. But it goes to insults, it gets
Oh, yeah.
angry, like instantly. Like, that's, and I, like I said, when I was in when I was in Greek, you saw so many moving parts. You know, people get upset, people disagree, but everybody was still came together. And shout out, I met a one of the volunteers that came out, Rachel, with Feral at Heart. Yo, shout out to Rachel. I got to do some more work with her, because she came out there just to volunteer, flat out.
Oh, is
Like,
she the vet tech or vet student? She the
she was a she I think she was a vet tech, but she's in the TNR rescue too, and she literally just came out, paid her own way to come out and trap just to help.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, yo, that was amazing. Like, yeah, her she did her thing. She was out there
Good.
doing her thing, and I
Yeah.
like me and her both, because she's from, I think she's in Nevada. I think she in Las
Oh,
Vegas.
okay.
And she you know, so we both was looking, us both being from America, when we saw some of the stuff, the way they was trapping,
Yeah.
it's like we looked at each other like, what? But at the same time, we both was like, you know,
Yeah.
calm it down. They do things differently here out of
Yeah.
lack of resources. So it's cool. It's
Yeah.
it's it's cool. But I like that. It was the same team feeling like that the whole
Yeah.
time. I could
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Was
Yeah.
was she black?
No, no.
Oh, okay.
I was so happy that one of the vet techs that came out was
That's
black.
who I
I
thought you were
was like,
talking about. That's what because that's what I wanted to say that, and I posted about it. That picture that is like you with all the little like whites or like light skinned children, and I'm like, I love that there's a black man in the middle of that. I'm like, let's change the narrative of what the black man, like, it's like, you know, like this is why it made me so happy. It made me so happy. And then I saw a black vet tech or something. I was like, yes. And I'm
I
like,
was
yeah,
like, go girl,
yes, because you
go.
know what I'm talking about. It's like my friend my friend Nana she's from Ghana, which I always call her Nana from Ghana. And so, you know, she's
that's a
my
dope
like
nickname.
beautiful African princess. She was a grad student at my department where I work at UF. But we used to talk about that. Like we would talk, she's same team, because we would talk about like all the same kind of stuff. But like when I actually worked on campus, like a lot of the graduate students, like I work for a social sciences department. So everybody's like, I feel like all of those people are kind of like our same team kind of people, you know?
Right.
So like, I mean, so shout out family, youth, and community sciences, like got to get that job security there. I've worked at UF for almost 10 years this month. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, but like Nana, we would talk about that because I do all of our promotional materials, like videos, all of our marketing for my department. And so there was a picture and it was like the white girl with all the little black children around. And we were talking about it. I'm like, and a lot of times it's like,
you always see that too.
Yeah, but a lot of times it's like the children they're not even poor. It's like they just look different, you know. It's like, but anyway, we used to talk about that all the time. And so and she's like royalty, like where she's from. Like she is like, she's truly a princess, like for real. And she's a diva and she knows it too. So anyway, I hope that I'm gonna have to tell her I talked about her on the podcast today. But anyway, but yeah, when I saw that picture of you in the middle, it was like the reverse stereotypical picture, and it made me so happy. That's why I think I may have posted it. I think I collabed.
I think I saw. I think I
same team.
I think you tagged me. Yeah,
I did. Yeah, because it was awesome. Dope. Yeah, but anyway,
I couldn't believe how many people out there knew who I was. Like those kids were running up to me. Some of them was running up to me with their phones, like showing me my social media and stuff. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
So many young kids now out there, they want to help animals. Like that was like, that's so dope. That was so dope to me. It was one girl, I swear she had to get like 30 selfies with me. Like for real. So cool. She just kept coming back like selfies.
Yeah. But like that's so cool though, because it's you being you, doing your thing, and then because like whatever this happened and like we have a modicum of fame, you know, like here, like it's cool when it's for good, you know. They're not like, oh, that dude, like, I mean, you know, like there's because you know how it is. It's like maybe there's like some sort of person that's well known and for something bad, and it's like, so then you take the stealthy like private picture, it's like this, but people are like coming up to you. So like I'm proud of you. Like I feel like, especially because you and I both struggle with we are minorities in different ways, but like we support each other, which is why we say
gay
and black.
Gay, black.
Anyway.
But was same team. That was that whole deal, the whole Greece trip, all of it was amazing.
Life-changing experience. Was that your first time being in a group like that for animals, like in a mission like that? Like,
that was the first time out of the country doing it like that. I've done, you know, I went to Hollywood, Florida. And I was working with a bunch of various groups out there where we basically linked up together and trapped like almost 80 cats in a day. Like that was dope. But this was the first time going out the country. Smush, look, y'all, everybody listening, y'all don't see Smush and came on the camera like, y'all need to wrap it up. Smush is the executive producer, so
look at her. She's like, I gotta go over here.
Yeah, she like I'm more behind the scenes, but y'all need to wrap it up.
She's like, it's all, she's more like, it's all about me. She's like, hi. I don't know what she's doing. Smush, come here. Say hi. You want to smush the beef?
Smushy.
Here,
Hey,
she asked.
Smush. I hear her.
She's so vocal.
Smush
You
is
want to
like super
say
vocal.
hi here? She said no.
I love
She
it.
was in such a bad mood the other day. So my ex Sarah came over and she's been helping me like organize a bunch of stuff because by the way, my next book is about divorce. So if anybody knows, like I have
Oh,
my first children's book was called SMUSH for President, and it was like one of those things because like the book me and my colleague Amariah Rauscher, she did the Princess Truly books and she works for Scholastic Books. But anyway,
oh, I know Scholastic.
so she
Yeah.
illustrated Smush for President, and so check it out online. It's basically all about Same Team, only it doesn't say Same Team in it, but it is about Same Team. But it's about making a difference right where you are, and being authentic and fighting for the good fight, all that good stuff. But it's also about stealing bread, lots of stuff. But
Of
but
course, it's still in bread if it's
but
Smush.
anyway, but it was like right when that came out, and it talks about it's like about my family, but it's the voice of Smush. And so but it's like I have two moms, and then right at the beginning of the pandemic or that summer, like Sarah and I decided to part ways. But it's funny because Sarah and I are better friends now, and we've really, I mean, it didn't happen just like right away, but like yeah, like I love her, like she's my family. And it's just but she came over the other day and we were organizing all the stuff, but I was talking about the book and how I'm going to do my second one on divorce, and how you don't have, it doesn't have to be nasty, and you can still, stay, you can stay like in each other's lives without being, like just because it changes doesn't mean it has to end, if that makes sense.
Right,
And I
right,
feel really
right,
happy
right.
about that. And so, I feel like everything is like, I feel like everything goes back to Same Team. I'm like,
It's
Same Team is my religion now,
right.
but it always has
That's it. We
been.
starting a religion. We same
Yeah.
team church. Same team
Same
church.
team. That's like yesterday. Sterling and I, we caught up for the first time on the phone, like, like after you got back, and it was just like both of us, like we just like start talking. Or like we're going to
Going.
church right now. We're
Right,
going to
right.
church right now. It's just like,
I needed
and
it
I
because
know.
I hadn't stopped since even
So
when I got
crazy.
back, I was still going. Soon as I
Oh,
got back
you
from Greece,
were.
I, s-
I know.
I was actually filming something that I can't speak on what I'm
Yeah.
filming, but I was filming something, and that was like I came in from Greece, and the next day, boom, filming.
So
And then
crazy.
that was like the
Yeah.
whole week, and then I'm always trapping on top of that. So it was just
Yeah.
like when we got on the phone,
I
it was just
know.
like
I know.
I needed to talk to my sis.
I know it. Yeah. So that's why we're recording today instead of yesterday. But
Right.
it is really interesting though, because it does, like, everything goes back. Like if I look at my life, like from the beginning, I feel like it always goes back to Same Team.
Yep. Same
Same
team,
Team
man.
Infinity. It's like, so
Same
Sterling and
team.
I are both gonna get, like, so I have, for those of you who don't know, I have "fuck this shit" tattooed on my wrist. It was my pandemic tattoo, but it's basically because I deal with a lot of like anxiety, depression, like I've recovered from eating disorders. Like my mind is a very creative, interesting place. And so, and like everybody has shit from that you should probably, most people have like shit to deal with,
Right.
and like the way
Right.
you talk to yourself is so important. And like I feel like I don't know, it's just, I feel like my tattoo, "fuck this shit," makes me stop talking bad to myself in my head. But like then it's like I'm gonna get Same Team, hashtag Same Team on my other wrist. But like
Yeah.
when I was so mad about the Greyhound thing, when I first read that email, like, because I didn't post online about the Greyhound, because like I don't post everything that I do, but I did go when I got denied, but I didn't do it right away. Because again, going back to what we talk about in the podcast, I'm like, I want to be responsive, not reactive. I want to know if this is worth even putting online. Like, and I didn't want to do it impulsively because I can be impulsive, and I'm that's why I'm working on my shit, because like last year I was a lot more impulsive in interactions with people personally, like, you know, and that's just where I was at the time. And like now I'm like, you know, you can't take words back, you know, you can't take words
Right.
back. And so,
Right.
and words are powerful. And so when I read that I got denied, first I went into the kitchen, I started stress eating soup. And then I was like, this is not good. I'm like, I gotta stop this. Cause like, you know, okay. So I was like in the kitchen, I was like, okay, let's go. And then I left and I started like walking around my neighborhood. And then I actually I was texting with a friend of mine who like has greyhounds that, you know, I know her and she knows the group personally here. And like, and I just like that, and I just was like, I gotta just let this go for the night. And so like I ended up that night, I was like, okay, self-care. I'm not even gonna talk about this, other than I talked with a couple people. Like I texted a couple people that it happened. And then I ended up just like smoking a doob and watching Grace and Frankie. And that was awesome. But then
Oh, I
the
love
next,
Grace and Frankie.
so good. I just watched the series finale. It's so good.
Oh,
But
really? Don't tell me.
I won't. I would never. So, but yeah, but then the next morning I got up because I was like, I'm not going to post anything. I'm not going to write anything about this until I just kind of let it go into me that this actually happened. Because,
Right.
but the whole time when I was first, I was really upset. And it was, you know, you get emotions come inside of you. And so like, you know, what helped me was to be like, okay, fuck this shit. I'm not going to do anything destructive to myself. Because that's, some people are like, they get angry and they do outward. I get upset, and a lot of times my emotions and stuff make me go inward for whatever reason. And I'm working on not doing that. Like I'm working on not doing that in my head. I don't mean like physically. I just like in, you know, it's like the way you talk to yourself. And so, but yeah, so I was walking around, but I was thinking about how like same team is really, it's like fuck this shit is helping fuck this shit is helping me to like stop any kind of like negative self-talk. But same team is also reminding me that there are other people out there like me that feel I feel, and that it's important to, you know, continue on, but to also just sometimes you have to pause and just, you know, and wait, because make a difference at all for anything.
That's what I've always, you know, my uncle Drake used to say that all the time, like think before you speak. Yeah. Like just think, just take a second and think before you just go blurting stuff out. Cause I told you, when I saw that one comment on your post, I responded like 3 times and deleted. I typed something and I deleted it. I typed something and I deleted it. I typed something and I'm like, okay, just calm down, stop.
I don't know. Well, I appreciate everybody that like came to my defense, but also I feel so proud of the like SMUSH's community, like our community. Like I feel like nobody was nasty, and that makes me feel so good, because it's like the quality of people that are a part of this whole like community, same team, everything, you know, it makes me feel really proud, because, and it makes me feel even happier that you and I are working together, because both of our communities are, I feel like, are pretty much same team, you know, people that you know, look up to us or whatever, you know, listen to us, and that, you know, and that also makes me feel even more inspired to make sure that I hold myself up to that standard, because you know, we have, for whatever reason, we have been put in this position where people do listen to us. And it's like, I know that's a lot to have on you, you know, but I just want to do right by animals and humans, but like most importantly, I want to do right by like myself. And so, but it's like all together. So, you know, and sometimes you have to do that, and you have to stand up for what you believe in. And like, it's like same team is not just like, oh, everybody work together and like hold it all in and not talk about it. It's like
just
the
hold
opposite
it in and don't say
that.
nothing. No.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of that.
And standing up for what's something you believe in, there's nothing wrong with that. That's, you know,
you should stand up for what you believe in.
Right.
And especially
it's just a way to go about it.
Yeah. And if you have the privilege of having an actual voice because you're not an animal, yeah, stand up for the animal.
Heck
if you have
yeah.
the privilege of having white skin and you can stand up for someone with brown skin that people
Right.
think about, same thing. If you're
Yeah.
like gay people too, it's like I am gay, but like I appreciate my straight
Right.
friends that stand up for me, or
Heck
me as a
yeah.
woman,
Right.
like, so same team.
Same team. It's what
Same
it
team,
always come
man.
back
Same
to.
team.
Same team. It's always same team.
It's always same team. So
I love it. I love
yep.
it.
All
Well,
right. Well,
y'all, we done been on here. This is episode 10.
10. Yes.
My goodness.
Yeah,
like
we
we
had to
didn't.
figure it out. We weren't sure. We're like,
Wow.
what is it? 10. Yeah.
Right. That's crazy. But it's good to be back.
It's good to be back.
Thank y'all for tuning in. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here and leave y'all with, yo, you don't lose cool points for compassion. The same team, baby. Same team.
Baby. And
Peace
gay.
out, y'all. And black. We love y'all. Peace out.